fertilizer industry, again, one of the most, that industry you will find that is in the current affair. Isme, one or the other time you will find government is having pretty much new initiative that government needs to take, in fact, for this. It's just because this industry is very important, say, from overall agriculture and the overall Indian economy perspective. Okay, so fertilizer industry, you'll find, say, this industry is again equally important if you consider, say, its impact on the populace, right? जैसे कि देखो आयरन स्टील एल्यूमिनियम इंडस्ट्री या और भी इंडस्ट्रीज है, जैसे इनका इम्पैक्ट तो डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट तो लिमिटेड पॉपुलेस पे है, मतलब अगर प्रोडक्ट के टर्म में अगर हम देखेंगे डायरेक्टली इमीडिएटली राइट ऑन द ग्राउंड, तो ये लिमिटेड say populace पे है. However, if you consider, say, this fertilizer industry, then this fertilizer industry is having what very widespread impact, because this industry, it deals with the soul of our what India as a nation, that is agriculture. Though if you consider the economic perspective, so agriculture is not that performing well, okay? It is not having very high rate of development or that returns as well. However, this fertilizer industry, say, or ultimately as it serves agriculture, you will see, say, it deals with almost 50 to 60% of India's population. 50 to 60%, right? They say directly or indirectly. Mainly farmers के साथ तो directly deal ही कर रहा है, and yes, in indirect way as well, that those elements get involved in the supply chain. Hence, you will see fertilizer industry is really very important in the overall syllabus as well, and as well economical perspective. Right, government economical perspective, you will find equally important. So, India, as you know, is again importer of fertilizer first. India again importer of fertilizer. देखो fertilizer as such India में बहुत नया है, that is not a case. Since a time immemorial, you will find, say, the farmers in India, they were using fertilizer. However, that fertilizer was pretty much organic in nature. But ultimately, say, with the time, you will find some chemicals were invented, right? Okay, even in the medieval time, you will find some chemicals were used, but those chemicals, they were in pretty much what limited amount. जिससे ना, it will rather boost productivity and would have less impact on environment or soil or overall ecosystem as a whole. What happened? Say what happened precisely after independence now, because anyway Britishers were not that much interested, right, to make India self-reliant in terms of food production, because that is where actually their profit lies. Okay, so you must be knowing कि फिर वहाँ पे कुछ practices थे, जैसे कि जमींदारी system या revenue sharing वाली case, zamindari, mahalwari, rayatwari, those practices were, okay, revenue sharing practices were promoted by them, in fact, with the view to collapse the whole structure of this agriculture and only to retain that particular part which is beneficial for them. And that was the reason उस time में famines भी बहुत ज़्यादा आए थे इंडिया में. However, now coming on to our topic, fertilizer industry, you'll find, say, it boosted mainly, say, after 1960s, right? Second 5-year plan में तो खैर promote तो किया ही था, second 5-year plan, right? First 5-year and second 5-year plan, Sindri, ठीक है? Sindri, that is in Jharkhand. That is what one of the very first post-independence fertilizer plant that was established. This industry, I am telling you again, one of the most important industry in India. One of the most important industry because it deals with the very large-scale population. So, Sindri plant, you will find that is what one of the landmark event in the overall development of fertilizer industry. India, at this moment of time, you'll find second largest consumer of urea-based fertilizers after China. it produces its say own urea as the case, but that production is absolutely not enough, and that's why India is rather a net importer of urea as well. Yes, so urea हम import करते हैं. India also ranks second in the production of nitrogenous fertilizers and third in the phosphatic fertilizer. The fertilizer industry is the second most important industry after iron and steel. ठीक है, no doubt aluminium भी उतनी ही है, iron and steel भी, fertilizer भी, you will find those are equally important, those industries. And as of now, if you consider the, like say, the rate of growth of this industry, you will find one of the fastest growing industry, fertilizer. अब तो fertilizer industry, as you know, कि geography that deals with the space again. So ये तो खैर introduction. This fact would help you to introduce your answer. To introduce your answer. But this fact is not alone your answer. ठीक है? You have to add some enriched content into it. अब enriched content again for geography optional, yes, क्या रहेगा? Obviously locational factor of industry, because geography is interested in spatial distribution and why it is so. So you will see the Sindri power plant, fertilizer plant I told you, and its major distribution is in the Gujarat and Maharashtra region. Yeah, 5 major regions से जहाँ पे होता है Gujarat, Maharashtra, these are what one of the major producer as well. Second, you will find again in the region of Chota Nagpur Plateau, Tamil Nadu region. These are the major producing region, right? Of those 5, those are already been mentioned. In fact, this industry is what say it provide the cradle on which the green revolution actually implemented in India. Yes, ऐसा ही है, because high yielding varieties of seeds, say they needs extensive use of fertilizer, chemical fertilizer अगर more appropriate बोले तो हम, right? तो chemical fertilizer they are this high yielding varieties are in dire need, and this due to this particular fact, you know, this fertilizer industry as was say promoted that time. One of the reason why this industry it was promoted by the government as well, the reason was this one. ठीक है, अब this industry, you know, that is again privately and it is developed with the help of private and public participation as well. Private and public participation both. आज के डेट में अगर देखोगे तो प्राइवेट का पार्टिसिपेशन या शेयर भी ज्यादा है in case of this fertilizer industry, but yes, government is equally contributor for. So what are now the locational determinants of this industry? Wherever this industry is located, see Gujarat, Chota Nagpur Plateau, Tamil Nadu region, okay, then northwest part and Uttar Pradesh region. Yes, those are the 5 top producer of fertilizer. You'll see why they are located there, because some locational factors are in operation. See, raw materials. As I told you, raw material is again the soul of industry. Though most of the industries, except like say Footloose industry, I told you, they are mainly like the raw materials are like major determinant. And for fertilizer, you will see for fertilizer again the raw materials are equally important. Natural gas, coke based say gas as well, that will help to again ensure the industrial operations. You will find phosphates rock, yeah, phosphates rocks are equally important. Then you will find coal as well, okay, coal based and coal rock as well. These are important. Sulfur is another that important constituent. Sulfur is another important constituent of it. So this raw material, it defines the location first. It defines it. Now, at least based on this raw material, you will arrive at a approximate location कि हाँ यार इस location में हम ना fertilizer plant बना सकते हैं. Second factor then that again help you to segregate the rest of the region. This factor you will find energy. Being a highly energy intensive industry, this fertilizer you will find it again look for a energy, consistent energy supply, and again efficient, cost efficient energy supply as well. So this is highly energy intensive sector. One of the again raw material over here is natural gas that we import mainly from Russia. ठीक है, रशिया एंड ईरान, पहले ईरान से करते थे, अभी तो है रशिया से भी कर रहे हैं because it offers us a cheap price. So this energy efficiency, cost effective, cost efficient as well, and consistent. To see consistent and reliable, that this industry is looking for those sources. Then again, as imported materials are to be used, right? तो रॉ मटेरियल्स क्योंकि हमारे पास में जैसे कि फॉस्फेट्स वाले रॉक्स हमारे पास में कुछ अवेलेबल नहीं है, क्योंकि यू विल फाइंड देयर आर नंबर ऑफ फर्टिलाइजर्स एज इन ऑपरेशन, दो फार्मर्स जनरली यूरिया ही यूज करते हैं, बट देयर आर मेनी फर्टिलाइजर्स एज वेल. सो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन for imported product, and again basically to reach out at the market, because the market is actually lying at the rural areas, so it needs a transportation efficiency. So the region which offers then the best connectivity potential, so that जहां पे प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं immediately rural areas में भी हम डिस्पर्स भी कर पाएंगे. That is what this location, that defines the location of this industry. Apart from that, again the technology, that really important, right? जो कि location खैर, because technology is like a kind of that is a ubiquitous phenomena, that it is available say almost everywhere. Still the technology to use those raw materials and finally arrived at the requirement, right? तो वो एक important है. Government policy, right, equally important है, because you know India basically this India में अगर फूड के बाद सबसे ज्यादा अगर हम सब्सिडी कहीं देते हैं तो सेकेंड लार्जेस्ट सब्सिडी that government of India it offers to fertilizer, that ranges almost around 1.5 lakh crores, you know. So government of India is equally contributed for, and that's the reason government of India also decides the floor price for fertilizers. In fact market administered price नहीं है इसमें state administered price है of this fertilizer, because you know fertilizer is that it deals with the soul of Indian economy, that is agriculture. So government of India it just cannot let this sector on market forces, इसीलिए यहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया इतनी सब्सिडीज भी देती है एंड साइमल्टेनियसली इट एडमिनिस्टर्स द प्राइसेस एज वेल. अब बस इसी कनेक्शन में those are what the locational determinant, and this government policies are equally important. Why? Because those will help further to identify concessions and locations. And one factor that remains, right, it must be prioritized further, that this is what market. दो इंडिया में उतनी साइंटिफिक एग्रीकल्चर या फार्मिंग होती नहीं है, but if you follow that particular practice, right, progressive farmers have, so for particular type of soil it requires a particular chemicals fertilizers only. You are not supposed to use like urea for every matter. You are not supposed to use say phosphate for every matter. You have to be more specific that my soil or that particular soil it is deficient in this nutrients, and that's the reason I shall use those fertilizers. So fertilizer industry you will find that is really one of the most important, and due to this factors in operation you will find it is concentrated rather over here. Natural gas है, इसीलिए यहाँ पे जनरली गुजरात कोस्टल रीजन्स में लोकेटेड है दिस पर्टिकुलर इंडस्ट्री, महाराष्ट्र कोस्टल रीजन. क्यों? क्योंकि वहां से फिर ट्रांसपोर्टेशन इट बिकम्स प्रीटी मच इजियर. ओके, सो these are the regions see for this fertilizer industry. Now what you have to look for few more initiatives in this regard, right? In this regard कुछ नए initiatives government of India लेते ही रहेगी. I am telling you क्यों? क्योंकि fertilizer industry is again one of the most important industry. See, गवर्नमेंट के कुछ नए इनिशिएटिव्स अगर देखोगे तो यूरिया पॉलिसी 2015, जिसमें हमने इंडिया वांट्स टू बी नेट एक्सपोर्टर ऑफ यूरिया. दो हम largest importer hai, one of the largest, not largest, one of the largest. So India wants to be what, a net exporter of urea. We want a self sufficiency in urea production. Then you will see यहाँ पे हमने एक नई कंसेप्ट भी ऐड की थी ऑर्गेनिक वे में, नीम कोटेड यूरिया. Neem coated urea. This will help to limit infiltration of urea into soil, because you know excessive use of urea is in India. Infiltration of urea in soil, and that would rather help, okay, that would rather help to what, limit the problems attached with the excess use of urea. जैसे अगर आपने इकोनॉमिक सर्वे में देखा होगा, देखो रिकमेंडेड है दैट वी शुड यूज 3 जो बेसिक न्यूट्रिएंट्स है हमारे, एनपीके. recommendations are like scientific recommendation. It should be used in manner 4:2:1. However, what Hanumanta commission or committee, Hanumantappa Rao committee, it observed that in India the use of this NPK actually they are like, say it is in the ratio 8:2:4:1, and that is really what a highly skewed ratio that we are using this fertilizer. And this fertilizer are not supposed to use in such a highly skewed ratio, because soil, it needs to provide, right, only those needed nutrients. क्योंकि unnecessary अगर कोई excess में आएगा तो कोई sense ही नहीं बन रहा उस चीज का. And that is the case. Say government of India, you will find it always like nutrient based subsidy program. Again for fertilizer, जिसमें हम based on specific nutrient we will decide the subsidies. कि फॉस्फेट अगर फर्टिलाइजर है तो उसके लिए इतनी सब्सिडी है, अगर से बोरैक्स पाउडर है तो इतनी सब्सिडी है, और बोरैक्स से बोरॉन रिलेटेड अगर कोई न्यूट्रिएंट्स है या व्हाटएवर यू विल फाइंड, ओके. सो अकॉर्डिंगली सब्सिडीज टू बी गिवन. However, urea remain again excluded from this particular program. ठीक है, so look for this as well. And now one nation one fertilizer policy or scheme. That government of India in 2018-19, you know what happened? See, it has now launched this program, One Nation, One Fertilizers program, under which, because as you know, see, this even the private plants are there of the fertilizer production. You'll find, see, they are highly subsidized in nature. And as that burden is actually taken by the government of India, so government of India feels that we should have, say, a right claim over the overall production. So government of India then decided that every fertilizer needs to be, right, say tagged as under this name, right, and what, जिसका फुल फॉर्म है पीएम, प्रधानमंत्री जनुर्वाक योजना. ठीक है, बीजेपी है प्रोग्राम, परियोजना, राइट. सो अंडर दिस स्कीम यू विल फाइंड गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया हैज नॉट डिसाइडेड कि प्राइवेट प्लेयर्स का लिमिटेड स्पेस दी जाएगी, उस पे लोगो आपका प्रिंट करना है, एंड दिस बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन, द रेस्ट ऑफ द पेज now you have to print, okay, or you have to display the information that is what about the scheme. About the scheme in the sense government of India being the say what the major subsidy provided to you, so you are bound to do this. And this is what this different initiatives taken by government of India to deal with the problems of fertilizer industry. Okay, so few problems as raw material availability वाला issue है, जैसे कि रॉ मटेरियल नेचुरल गैस अगर है तो ईरान के सैंक्शंस है तो वो नेचुरल गैस की लिमिटेशंस है. You will find even some phosphates groups है या mining related issues है. Then dual pricing policy, because as I told you, and these fertilizers are again highly subsidized areas of agriculture component, right? So dual pricing is what again observed there. For one particular group of fertilizer you will find a highly subsidized rate, however for other say कुछ limited pricing there, right? So high say difference in the pricing, differential pricing, ब्लैक मार्केटिंग ऑफ फर्टिलाइजर, ये तो बहुत ज्यादा कॉमन है, राइट? देन गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसीज इन दिस सपोर्ट लाइक दिस पीएम बीजेपी योजना और वन नेशन वन फर्टिलाइजर, lesser expansion of irrigation facilities and consequently less fertilizer use, obsolete technology in use and less expansion of irrigation facilities. So irrigation, because ultimately the use of fertilizer, it is dependent on the provision of say inputs to it, high yielding varieties, irrigation or water, okay, and then pesticides, insecticides, those are all in use. So ultimately the use of fertilizer is what needs to be observed. And if you follow like say कि हमने agriculture basically topic में जो discuss करना होता है, right, that is what the most important, that if you follow the one of the highest rate of fertilizer consumption in India is in Andhra Pradesh, Andhra, Punjab, and in the rest of the part northeastern is what one of the least fertilizer used region. So there lies a highly skewed spatial distribution. There even lies in terms of the new fertilizer highly skewed nutrient use as well. Urea is again excessively used fertilizer in India, and the rest are not equally focused by farmers. And the result you will see, if your green revolution ki jo adverse impact hai, one of the reason is the excessive use of fertilizer. It lead to soil erosion, it lead to soil sterilization, eutrophication. Say now economic survey, it was observed that now the overall efficiency of fertilizer in India is now at decline. In the sense कि पहले ऐसा होता था कि अगर 1 kg अगर आप fertilizer add करोगे, for example, it would lead to X kg of productivity. However, now even after you add 1 kg in addition, you would be getting a same productivity. So due to, because like say excessive use of this fertilizer, it made soil rather unproductive, and it leads to say consequential impact on ecosystem health and very diverse aspect as well. Okay, so this is about the fertilizer industry. So just have now a break of 2 minutes. Vishal, are you getting this thing? Easy है? Not so easy, sir. Oh. Absolutely not so easy. But the thing is, if you're able to connect those things, so it becomes rather easy, right? It's just because if you follow the previous year question paper, so questions are not beyond a particular range, okay? Means they will either ask question on either the new scheme or maybe locational determinants or some say in connection with the industry. So I believe that is pretty much D-level then. Try to focus on key industries mainly, right? Iron and steel, you will find fertilizer as well. Then again, tourism, yeah, tourism industry you will find, okay, and one additional, okay. So those industries are important, and for the rest of the industries, even based on your general understanding, or maybe at the say during that the last phase of your preparation, you just can skip those particular areas to deal during that time. So see, anyways, this topic is a bit technical, I would say. Technical in a sense. Now you mainly if you are going to discuss locational factors, so somehow factors are what getting repeated and your own understanding, it matters a lot here. Again, try to connect with the current affairs, so easy ho jayega. And even if you feel it is a bit what confusing or not that much easy, that what I just consider it as, you can rather say skip it as well. Okay, तो ऐसा भी कर सकते हो. Only look for those past 5 years जो industries है उसमें कौन से क्वेश्चन पूछे हैं, so you are supposed to focus those industries mainly.